We've all had moments in gaming where we've had to ask ourselves life's greatest question. Do I suck or does the game suck? Well, I've cracked open Dark Souls to answer that question, and good God, did that foot just do a grab attack? Why is that explosion way bigger than it looks? And yes, we will be covering Iron Golem's grab that's straight from hell. So many boss attacks are not what they appear to be visually, and so in this series, I am going through every boss in the game. Today's bosses are ranked from least jank to most jank. Prepare for your gamer rage to be vindicated. First up is Nito. To start, this guy is mainly just interesting, but he has one very jank thing that puts him on the list. So first, thank God you can't get a good look at him in game because this dude is gross as hell. Specifically, that left leg is the stuff of nightmares. But gross as he is, he does get the party started pretty quick with this attack. See how that hitbox spawns at your player position? The only way to avoid it is a precise roll timing. Or is it? Watch this. The hit detector between your legs is so small that blocking with a two-handed weapon places your legs wide enough that you avoid hit detection. So can it be blocked? Technically, yes. A rare jank win for the player. Another quirk with this boss is his grab attack. It is totally unique to any other grab I've seen in any From Software title. It has two grab detectors. I don't know what the point of that is, but it does. It's also the creepiest grab attack in the entire series. It's a good thing that it's his sword that comes from underground to grab you between your spread legs, not his hand. But to finish this off, his explosion attack does the same thing that Quelaag's does. The hit detector grows in size faster than the visual indicator, so you are always hit earlier than you would expect. And the overall explosion offers very few hiding spots that it does not reach. You can see other fun goof-ups with bosses I've covered like Quelaag in the other videos I've done in the playlist here after you watch this. And now for the most iconic pair of cuties in all of gaming, Ornstein and Smough. We'll start with Pikachu. His phase 1 is not that intimidating at all when you look at him closely. His electric projectile especially gives you an insane amount of flexibility to avoid it, as the hit detector isn't until about halfway in the thing. His dash attack as well is just his weapon, not his body, and it doesn't linger for long at all after his initial thrust. Beyond that, his swings don't become active until they pass the center plane of his body, making a roll through super safe. And even his overhead slam lasts for just 2 measly frames. But after all that, and by the way, normal people will be surprised to hear this because only a lunatic kills Smough first, but Ornstein does in fact have a phase 2. An immediate difference is that his swings suddenly are active way earlier than in phase 1, which I don't think is for difficulty because he is so tall. I guess it's just so he can collapse any remaining pillars for the spectacle of it. Now, all the easy stuff about Ornstein ends right there, because now you start getting stuff like this. Listen closely and you can hear the pleasured moaning of the character being hit twice. Once by the actual weapon hitbox and the second by the electrical bolt coming after it. This can absolutely delete your stock if you don't know that it can hit you twice. But at least his grab attack is really not all that bad. For starters, it's obvious as hell, and he leans back and away from you instead of towards you at the start of it. You can even just walk in on him slightly to the inside and be just fine. I was trying to roll into it here, and it still missed me. But now, for Smough, this guy pisses me off. He has this charge attack, right? Believe it or not, he actually has 2 charge attacks that are near visually identical to each other, except for how the hit detection works. They both start the same, but when he swings his hammer back for the left attack, all hit detection stops for 8 frames. an opening to avoid damage. Meanwhile, on the right, it just continues on. You will also notice the body is never a hit detector again on that left side, whereas it is on the right side attack. So you have two near identical attacks in game with totally different hit detection. I believe the one on the left is for short range and the right is long range. If dodging that attack has ever felt inconsistent, that is why. It's functionally two different attacks without your knowledge. Why? But to finish this one, I know you want to see that phase 2 butt slam attack. What is super confusing about this butt slam is that it functions the opposite to almost every other explosion in the game. The electricity explosion visual is way ahead of the hit detection, whereas with Nito and Quelaag, it's the exact opposite. So you don't get hit by the initial blast in the way you've been trained to expect, but then the electric waves stop at this point. Does that mean that the AoE attack is over? Not even close. Hit detection stays active way beyond that. So what is the actual visual cue for when this attack is active and when it isn't? Because we have these electric waves, we have electric squiggles on the floor, and we have electric lines bursting out. Well, it's the lines. The attack stops once the lines stop shooting out, even though the squiggles are still there. It's complete nonsense, and everyone has the right to be annoyed by getting zapped by that attack 3 business days after you thought it was over. Oh, and Ornstein's works very similar in his phase 2. It's just like a mini version that doesn't last as long in general. Up next is Gaping Dragon. Let's just jump right into what may be the dumbest grab attack in gaming history. Is it this one? No, this actually looks perfectly normal. Easy to tell that it's coming. It's actually this one. Now, looking at that, obviously you would say that's not a grab attack. He just roars and then runs forward. Well, you see that bizarre 2-frame blink of a hit detector on his foot when he roars? Here's how that functions in-game.
Gotcha, bitch.
It's a grab. An instantaneous, out of absolutely nowhere grab. I don't even want to talk about this guy anymore. I have another video that covers his bullshit. If you want to watch more of that, you can. But for those that requested it, this is how massive his toxic oil spill attack actually is.
They tried to put me on the cover of Vogue, but my legs were too long.
Up next is 4 Kings. These dudes have the most ridiculously bloated arm hit detection I think I've ever seen. It is just layers of silliness that results in you getting bonked in the head up close way earlier than you'd think. On stab attacks, they also poke out the back so damn far. Now, as for the sword itself, well, hit detection isn't even on the sword at all. Basically dodge the purple glow, not the actual blades themselves, I guess. And we've talked about silly explosions in this game, but good God, look at this. This has to be the biggest discrepancy between visual cue and hit detection in the entire game. The character doesn't even get touched by the shockwave visual. He is literally on the floor before the explosion even fills out. Wild. To finish with this guy, he does have a grab of sorts, although it's more like his entire body just becomes a ball of death, especially when you are at range and he just kind of floats towards you with a grab detector that encompasses his entire body and some. Have fun with that one, boys. Now, before we cover the jankest boss of today, we have a few honorable mentions in rapid succession. Sorry to all the Moonlight Butterfly fans out there, but this boss is boring as hell. But I said I would do all the bosses, so here's its laser attack. Cool. Dark Sun Gwendolyn. Super teeny tiny hit detectors on the tip of the arrows. Adorable and gets the job done. What were they smoking with some of the Dark Souls 2 hitboxes? I don't know. Lastly, this projectile attack is one of the rare ones that does not despawn upon hitting a target. It can hit you through the fucking wall, and it stays active and goes so far for so long that it's probably going to hit you years from now while you're playing a completely unrelated game. Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. You can parry his opening attack. I always rolled through it. I thought you had to, but yep, he has a parry window while he is in the air. In fact, most his attacks have super early parry timings, not even close to when his sword or his wrist reaches you. Also, his sword and his flame attack have 2 separate hit detectors. And lastly, his grab is super small but lasts for a surprising and arguably unnecessary 9 frames. One of the biggest requests I got was for Calamit's tail swing. If you're close to him, it's fine. But you can see at one specific point, his tail gets super bendy and bends outside the hit detector. So if you got clipped later than expected at the end of the tail, that is why. For his normal melee attack, when looking at the hit detection, you realize how much of a big head this guy has. He has really long horns on the back that are included in this long ass 18 frame attack that catches a lot of people off guard. As for his red eye attack, here is the effective range of that. And lastly, his flames are actually not as lethal as you think. You have quite a bit of leeway in the flame's size and its hit detection. Compared to the bell gargoyles in part 1 of this video, this is actually not that bad at all. Except for his downward flame attack. Just run away, it's fucking massive. And now for today's champion of jank, Iron Golem. Just to get it out of the way, his weapon hit detection is actually chill as hell. It is nowhere near the size I thought it would be and has no AoE on any of his attacks. Even an attack like this. But it does have AoE on his hand smash for some reason. Why he is using an axe when his hand has more of an impact, I don't know. But alright, that's out of the way. Now let's talk about that goddamn grab attack. Would you be surprised to hear that he actually has 2 grabs? They look nearly identical, yet have totally different hit detection. Should sound familiar. This is the grab he does when you are slightly far away. Not that crazy, right? This doesn't explain anything about this experience that we've all had. Well, if you are just slightly closer to him, he has this grab instead. Do you notice something different? It's huge. The inconsistency in this grab is because he has 2 grabs. One sucks ass and the other is fine. You know what? It at least feels good to know. And this is just the tip of the iceberg jank for that grab attack. My dad has been playing Dark Souls as his first video game ever, and this happened to him like 4 times in a row.
What's that?
So there is even more to this boss jank bullshit than meets the eye, so that's why he gets the top slot. Remember, you can check out the other frame data videos in this playlist, or if you want to follow my dad's first adventure of playing a video game, Dark Souls, you can check it out in the other playlist. Also, subscribing is a good idea so that you don't miss any uploads. Consider supporting us on Patreon to get our weekly uploads a week early, ad-free. But as always, thanks for watching.